Now that we have that done, let's hide this so we don't confuse the issue anymore, and go to Selective Color. Selective Color will be taking place over in this quadrant, or in this mask. And what do they show us here? All right, this is an interesting interface. It's different now. We have a pull-down menu, and we have 4 color sliders over here: cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. As I pull this down, you'll see that it runs through the gamut from red through the blues, cyans, greens, yellows, and what have you. It also has whites, neutrals, and blacks, which happens to fit my criteria because this image essentially is whites, midtones, neutrals, and blacks. So let's just assume that neutrals would be midtones. That's what we did with the curves, and that's how we affected the color balance. So let's do the same thing with the neutrals. We'll move these away from cyan and more toward the red. Pretty close. Not bad at all. Let's move this whole thing over. As I hold down, use my vector key, and slide this over. Just to give me a visual. It's pretty close. Let's put a little bit more in there. Not too much. We may need some more in the shadows. So, because this effect is actually happening, pretty much the meat of it is right here in the exact neutrals, in the exact midtones. And there's some in the 3/4 tones and very little, almost nothing in the quarter tones and highlights. So we can go into our blacks to achieve the same effect. Pretty close. Now we can go back to our neutrals. A little too far. This is still pretty close. The fall off, I'm not happy with it. It tends to be. Let's give one more shot. We'll play some more. There we go. Again, this is really close, but this is a little over the top. This appears to look pretty close. I could use my eyedropper tool and set some sample points in this particular image to check the exact closeness to this if I really wanted to, but that's not the point of this tutorial, so I won't really bother you with it. Let me just put this back to where it was now. So over there, we have these 3, and essentially we've achieved the same end, only slightly differently. The curves affected things on a much more linear basis versus the color balance, which it said it was the midtones, but it's really the 3/4 tones. And the selective color, which enabled us to it gave us some strength. But I think that the reason why it gave us this strength was because this is an RGB image with neutral colors in it. Where this color move would really, or this color tool would really shine, is if we had an image that was one predominant color. Let's just say that we have a group photo, and everybody's wearing khakis and a white shirt, except one person who's wearing a blue shirt. You could literally go into your selective color, select your blues or cyans, depending on the shade of that shirt, and adjust just that shirt. It would be that simple. If you did that with curves, you'd actually have to mask out that shirt and affect the area. So you can see that that's where the selective color tool would be more like the sniper rifle versus the curves, which would be more of the bazooka. The color balance, I think the color balance is essentially just a poor man's curve. It's just people that really don't understand or intimidated by curves and just understand highlights, midtones, and shadows and move the color sliders around. It is not the most powerful tool in the bunch. I don't use it very often because curves and selective color seem to fit the bill for most everything I do. But sometimes I'm lazy, sometimes I want to try something new, and oftentimes, like I said, the photographers, that's all that they know, so I just go with it. At the end of the day, your color correction tools are your choice. Whatever you're comfortable with is fine with me. Curves, in the industry anyway, are predominant as far as color correction. You should learn how to use them. You should master them, understand everything about them, because we as professional retouchers use them for everything. Oftentimes you'll see 10, 20, sometimes 30 layers where I have curves affecting specific things from jewelry to maybe the pupils in the eye to the overall color of the image to removing color cast, a number of different things that you will see as I continue to retouch. So I know I was a little verbose here and talking my head off about this very mundane topic, but to start off the color correction tutorial series, I thought it was really important to kind of give you an overview, because a lot of people ask me, well, what do you prefer, selective color, curves, or color balance? And my answer is always, it depends. As you can see, this is why. As I continue with the tutorials, you'll see more situations where I may use selective color over curves and vice versa. But this is a really good starter. to get things rolling. And I hope it answered some of your questions. On to the next video.